Hello and welcome back to my channel, Talented Reads. Today's video is going to be a bookstore tour of Literary Leftovers, which is a cute little bookstore in Battleground, Washington. I've actually been to this bookstore before. It's changed management hands a couple times, but this new store, they've moved, they've expanded. It's absolutely beautiful in there. I love the way everything's displayed, and you just end up with this like fun maze of books and bookshelves, and there's quite a lot of different genres here. There's romance, cookbooks, general fiction, mystery. There's some horror sprinkled in there. There's cozy mystery. There's a cute little kids section. There's, science fiction, and just some nonfiction, religious fiction. So there's quite a lot in here, and I think there's also a really good mix of like new books with used books. When I had first emailed the bookstore, I asked them if it was okay if I could come film. She had mentioned that they do take like buyback books, and so that's really nice because I noticed here, especially in Washington with the pandemic, a lot of bookstores kind of stopped doing that. So of course I forgot to bring in my books, but that just means I have to make a second trip, right? So like I said, you can see here there's the display is really nice. They have good staff recommendations. I love how the top of the bookcases kind of have like books that are turned, facing out, and they've got some facing in, and it's just set up really, really nice. It flows really nice. It's very clean. A lot of books in there that I've read before I was happy to see. A lot of ones that I've never heard of. So that's really exciting. And of course, there's a little bookstore feline to help make your purchases go smoother. So, all in all, even my mom enjoyed going there and picking out books, which is good for someone who's not used to being in bookstores and being a reader. So that was kind of fun. They had some cute murals on the wall as well. That was really, really nice. It kind of brought a fun atmosphere to the bookstore, which was cool. And it kind of gave it this like whimsical fairy tale feel. They also had this cool section of like really old books, which is not something that I normally see in bookstores, but I love to collect like these really, really old books. So it was kind of cool to see a nice big section devoted to these really, really old books in here. They had actually a lot of really good selections on the old books, which is also kind of surprising too, because you don't see that a lot in indie bookstores. They kind of focus on the newer and the used books because that's what's popular. But it was really good to see. So all in all, I absolutely loved coming here. I can't wait to make another trip. So now let's get into the second fun part, which is the haul. So I bought 4 books while I was at Literary Leftovers, and let's get into the 4 books that I bought. So first is The Stand by Stephen King. This is a hunter of a book in true Stephen King fashion. And I believe the synopsis for this says, when a man escapes from a biological testing facility, he sets in motion a deadly domino effect, spreading a mutated strain of the flu that will wipe out 99% of humanity within a few weeks. Sounds like a good time. This is actually a really, really cool edition. It is like a complete uncut edition by Doubleday. And what was cool about it is in the very front, there's actually a preface in 2 parts. And part 1 is like to be read before purchase. And part 2 is to be read after purchase. Which is kind of fun. The part 1 kind of says like, you know, before you leave the bookstore, there's a couple of things I want you to know about this version. So I'm kind of intrigued, because I think it's almost kind of like an expansion on the first book. Yeah, it says this version of The Stand is an expansion of the original novel. So very, very cool. There's a lot of like header drawings in here. So I'm really excited. The Stand is one that I've been wanting to pick up. And I've been trying to find kind of the older, more original edition, because I like that cover better. This one doesn't have a cover, but it's still a really, really cool edition. When I first emailed the bookstore, asking, you know, if it was okay if I could come film, Heather had mentioned that she had this book, and she was going to keep it aside for me, which was really, really cool and awesome of her. So Heather, if you are watching this, thank you so much for keeping this aside for me. I really, really loved it and was happy to have purchased it. All right, next is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Burnett. I've actually heard a lot about this book, and I'm trying to remember what book it was that I read it, but they almost reference this a lot. I think it was a fiction book. I'm trying to remember what book it was, but yeah. Anyways, it was kind of like they use this as like their reference. So I've heard a lot about it, and I'm kind of surprised I actually haven't purchased it up yet. But it says, shots rang out in Savannah's grandest mansion in the misty early morning hours of May 2nd, 1981. Was it murder or self-defense? That's kind of all I want to know about it. So I'm really excited to purchase this, and I can't wait to get to it. Alright, next is The Critic by Peter May. And when I first picked this up, you know, a lot of mystery books, you know, they're like book 12 of a series, but they're not really like a series. It's like just that one investigator that, you know, does multiple investigations. But this says, in the winemaking region of Galette in southern France, a terrible crime has been committed, and it shows a flair for the dramatic. The body of Gil Petty, America's most celebrated wine critic, is found strung up in a vineyard, dressed in the ceremonial robes of the Order of the Divine Bottle, and pickled in wine. Sounds good. Again, you know, I do like those crime mysteries, so I'm excited to have found that. I have heard of this author before. I have actually never picked up a book from them. I think they have, like, quite a few. I'm excited to finally read a Peter May book. And last, I picked up a, they had, like, a blind data book section, and they had some like mysteriously wrapped books, which I can never not pick one up because I absolutely love the blind data book, and like I have to know what's under there, you know. So I picked up a science fiction, and from the tag, my keywords are future, short stories, aliens, and mystic. So I am dying to open this. So let's open this together on camera and see what we got. All right, here we go. Sharp instrument time. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Come on. I swear when it's Christmas, like this thing would already be open. But you know, I gotta be gentle for on camera. And I will tell you, whatever tape they use is like the tape that I'm gonna look for from now on. Because not even with my fingernail did I get it open. Come on, use the force. There we go. I see a black spine. That's a good sign. I do like a good black cover. Ooh. SF8. David Hartwell. Ooh, a year's best. That's a good choice. I'm guessing SF8 means this is the 8th installment of the year. I'm guessing that's what that is. Brave New Worlds. Okay, so it says these are stories of wonder and terror, astounding technologies and miraculous discovery. Stretch the imagination into realms and universes never dreamed of before. Very cool. So it sounds like it's kind of one of those, like, you know, the best of science fiction for that year. I have some horror that is like this, and it's actually a really good collection. So I'm kind of excited to get to this. So very fun. Well, it's been fun blinding with you, book. All right, so that is it for today's video. Thanks for having me, Literary Leftovers, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.